Hi, SkinnyGPanda here. So today, Dragon Roams and I decided to do a hike. I am preparing myself for higher elevation gains and more inclines. So decided to get out of Pennsylvania and head up to New York to the Catskills mountain area. Today we are looking at about a 9-mile hike. It's around noon. We're gonna check out some vistas. We got our hammocks, so we're hoping to set those up. But I'm gonna rate this trail, let you guys know how it is, how it's accessible, and go from there. So show you some footage and let's get to it. And then randomly, when you think you get to the vista point, they call them fake vistas because the trail goes even out, and then all of a sudden they put this climb in. It doesn't look like a climb on the camera, but I mean, it's a pretty steep upgrade up this. So the parking lot to the first vista that we are getting to is 1.7 miles. Limitation wise, I'm gonna give it a moderate because, like most of the inclines, there are still roots and rocks. And just like this, I mean, this constantly has like a nice climb to it. And depending on your limitation, this could be a stressor on your legs, or your lungs in this case, or even your heart. So when you're on a trail that is rated more moderate to difficult, don't let it steer you away, because if you take your time, you can get through it. So just take your time, take breaks, make sure you have water, make sure you have a snack, something energy-wise, so you can do something like this. So when you come up the red trail, you're gonna come out to that first sign and you're gonna come down the blue trail. Now the blue trail does have some ups and downs with the inclines and declines, but like the rest of the trail, I am labeling it as moderate. So we are down at the one section, and this is where you can determine if you are going to make this smaller trail, so you don't have to do like the 8 or 9 miles that we're doing. You can make it a smaller loop, and you can continue down this different route to the parking lot. So there's definitely a lot of options up here in the trails. So depending on your limitations and how good you're feeling at this point, from the parking lot to here is about 4.8 miles, probably closer to about 5, give or take, up to this point. So where we checked in at by our break, little ways up, the part that we continued on making our loop be more around the 8-9 miles, that T point is when you're feeling good. If you want, you can take the one side trail back down to the parking lot. So we decided to continue our loop. We're feeling pretty good. So from that point on, the loop that we're on starts to change from moderate to difficult. So if you are looking for a more challenging type of incline, you're going to want to continue on the route that we are towards the end of the video. I'll put the details as to what trails we took and so forth, but that's going to be difficult. But a little ways up, you get a little rest and you get to see this, which is nice. So we're not fully up yet, but this is a nice little rest area, but you're still venturing in an incline. That's something you want to keep in mind. All right, so from the last time I checked in with you guys and a little bit of that elevation gain, so to come up the way that we did to make our loop bigger, you do hit above 3,500 feet of elevation, all the way up to about 3,900. And from that point, that junction point, up to here is about a mile, and it is definitely labeled difficult. I strongly suggest that if you have any limitations, that you have proper gear. Proper gear would need to include trekking poles, or a trekking pole or some type of walking stick, and hiking boots or a boot that has the grips when you're hiking. Those are two key essentials that you will need in order to complete the next part of the section coming up. Other than that, if you take your time with your limitation, you would be able to come up to this point. You may struggle if you do not have proper gear, so I stress to you to have proper gear and attire when you're doing this type of hike up to this part. But other than that, we're back onto our ridge line. So we're gonna check out the summit. We're gonna hike back down. For the most part, it's downwards from here on out back to the car. Roughly did about 8 miles in total for today. Time-wise, we're doing really good. We did take a couple breaks. We're at 4 hours currently to this point, and it's like a little less than probably like 3 miles to get back down to the car. So we're gonna head out and finish out this hike. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions about this hike or recommendations on the hike that we did, leave a comment down below and I'll be happy to answer them. And as always, subscribe and ring that bell if you would like to see other content that I put out. All right, thank you for watching. Bye. Look at my summit. We're in the clouds. Seriously. I don't know if it's picking it up on the camera, but